6 Minutes Season 5. The Season of Unknowingness. The final chapter of the 6 Minute sequel.
There are kids in this world who are different. Special.
One of them found us.
And became family.
But her time ran out. And now, that girl is missing.
In this episode, I'll be breaking down the latest episode, 6 Minutes Season 5, Piece by Piece. Hey, Review Pop listeners, it's your Landon Mueller. We're here today talking about episode 21 of 6 Minutes Season 5, and I have to say, it just makes it way more exciting that it's the 8-year anniversary of 6 Minutes, and, we've just seen so much excitement in the new season, I think, and so it really just amplifies that feeling whenever we get a new episode, the fact that 6 Minutes has been going on for 8 years, right? I'm just always so excited to listen to a new episode. And, this episode I thought was really great. We really get to expand on James's character. And, we get to hear him lifting some weights, which is always awesome. I thought that scene was really interesting. I don't necessarily have a clip for it, but I really enjoyed it. So, yeah, let's dive straight into this one.
Pen's mother said she's an old friend of yours, James. Mirabelle Solstice?
Friend? Colleague, maybe, and she's definitely not on our side.
So, what do? Find a way to kidnap Pen?
It's not the worst idea.
So I love just this agreement of, kidnapping Pen, which is something else entirely. But I do really enjoy kind of looking into James's career and the fact that he was friends with Mirabelle Solstice, or at least that's what Monica thinks. And it'll be really interesting to see the work relationship there, and I kind of have a sneaking suspicion that James was closer to Mirabelle, right? And, maybe something happened between them. I think that's just a little prediction from my part, but we heard in season 3 of kind of their work relationship, and they're kind of a little uncomfortable around each other at first, but I think it's really great, and I'm just excited to see where that all goes. But I also love this idea of kidnapping Pen and, just him being in their class. But yeah, we'll see what happens.
I needed to see that smug look wiped off your face.
Speaking of which, you have some sand on your cheek. Oh, allow me to...
Hey, stop that!
Oh, just trying to help. How long have you been here on the island?
I don't know.
Right, so this whole Adam and Jude thing, I think, is super interesting, right? And Jude is very much so in control, right? Adam is ahead, and we heard that in the cliffhanger. And, I wonder, we kind of hear about this a little more later on in the episode, but that potential for them to kind of have a partnership, right? That's something we see a lot in 6 Minutes, these partnerships, because even though Adam just dislikes Jude so much, he's probably his least favorite person, they kind of both have qualities that each other need. And I think that'll be really interesting to see if, that's how they get back to Brinley, and whether or not, Adam will track down Brinley. But, there's something in it for both of them. If they can work together, if, Adam can be rebuilt, have his parts put back together. But for sure, I think there's a possibility for so many things to happen there.
He was going in for a hug.
Get it together, Brinley. Focus on the plan. You are bigger than whatever you are feeling for Cyrus. Ugh, what am I feeling for him? Nope, don't get distracted. Gotta stick to the plan.
Right, so I think it's interesting. We've kind of established what's happening with Cyrus and, him and Brinley growing closer together. We saw how they were uncomfortable together earlier in the episode, just, kind of that lover-bird feeling, and just, them growing closer to each other, I think, is always great to see. And, they're really rebuilding a bond, right? But at the same time, they're so close. They have so many qualities that they admire in each other. And so I think it's really funny whenever we see something like this to where Cyrus, showing his uncomfortable side, but then also Brinley just, being really excited to grow closer to Cyrus. I think it's super fun, and, just seeing those multiple perspectives is really, really interesting. It's definitely my favorite 6-minute ship, so it's always fun to talk about that, especially as it's the 8-year anniversary of 6 Minutes.
They've officially put me on leave.
I guess I can't say I'm surprised. We definitely stumbled onto something. Did they give you a reason?
Nope. Probably came straight from Angelica Graves. It's going to make things a lot harder for our search.
We'll figure it out.
I should let you get back to your workout.
And, I have to agree, it probably did come from Angelica. Angelica, it seems, still holds this grudge against the Anders family, and potentially she remembers some things, from the 1980s. But I'm not totally convinced, right? Because River and Sam don't, and so it'd be really interesting if Angel still has these recollections from what went down. But ultimately, I'm really excited to see this new Angelica Graves, especially because it's played by Gabriella Scott, who played Angel in season 4. But, this is all really interesting, and I'm excited to see where things go, and just, that tension growing between Angelica and Monica, right? They both have completely different wants. It's interesting, Angelica holding this grudge, she probably still holds a grudge against WITKids.
Adelaide said, "Good luck with the holiday project." So she must know something too.
But holiday project? What does that even mean?
I know what it means.
Cybot?
Robots. Anders fam?
Right, I love this so much, and I love how, Cybot is kind of in the middle of it all, but I love this idea that, Monica's learning about the Holiday Project, and also we as listeners are learning about the Holiday Project, right? Originally, the Holiday Project meant, Adam's robot army, but it looks a little bit different. In this case, I think the Holiday Project just means the building of bots in general, and that goes back to season 4 when we learned about Jude's interest in building bots from a very young age, and, he had done some research on bots and just constructing them, and I think it's super interesting. We hear Cybot say later, biohybrid between, biological parts, which we know the bots are made of. Just that whole system of technology, I think it'll be really interesting to explore, and obviously the Holiday Project was a big part of season 2. But it'll be really interesting to see how it's a part of season 5 now.
You remember Holiday?
Huh? Why wouldn't I?
You're a machine. You're not bound by the same rules of time and space. You can remember what others forget. Wait, why do I remember? Fascinating. Here, let me set your head on this rock so we can talk.
Jess had said something really, really funny on Rewind of just like, okay, maybe Jude is a robot, which obviously I think ultimately is not true, right? That would pretty much make no sense, and I don't think that align with the story. However, I do think there's something special about Jude. He's not like everybody else, and so perhaps Dr. Whittier, when he told Jude to go find Brinley, gave him some sort of special ability or device to be able to navigate throughout time without losing memory. But I think that's a really interesting thing. But we don't, see that with Brinley, because Brinley's been in multiple time periods, and yet she doesn't hold on to memories. But then we have Holiday and Adam, who seem to remember everything, and I think that's important.
And they act like you. But they are not you.
Amazing.
James, if someone built her, that means
We can rebuild her.
we can get our daughter back.
I don't think Holiday can be rebuilt, right? She was formed with memories and, she's an AI and she learned because she was with the Anders family. So to kind of duplicate Holiday, we're looking at, Holiday 2.0, not, the original Holiday, which we've come to love. Thank you all so much for listening. If you enjoy the show, please leave a 5-star review. Until next time, this is Landon saying peace, love, and time travel.